Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 111.
Yeah, because I didn't say the episode last week. Last week was 110.
Yeah. Yeah, 111. I have Audio Boom pulled up. Oh, and didn't actually save where I wanted to be. Anyway, yeah, 111 episode of Dimes on Duval presented by Nerdy Nuts. We are doing this via Zoom, so if our audio sounds a little different than usual, that is because we are all on our computers. Skyler has some greenery and some blinds in his background. Mike looks like he's in Tallahassee at Doe Campbell, and I am in the Nerdy Nuts studio, if you will. And we've got a jam-packed episode, so I'm not going to waste any time. I think we should start talking the Florida Gators first. Skyler, you cool with that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, this is my little swamp area. Obviously, with all the rain now, it's getting trickling inside.
It is
Um,
pretty swampy outside right now, too, as I look out the window.
yeah, but I thought, DJ Lagway had one of the best performances of all of college football throughout the whole week. And that was fun to watch. And then it got me a little excited again for Gator football. But of course, Billy said Graham's going to be the starter when healthy. So I look forward to his demise, Billy, not Graham. I'm rooting for Graham, but Billy, I'm just no longer. I don't know. I haven't really been a fan of much, obviously, but now that we've seen DJ Lagway play that well, it would be nice to see him start multiple games. But they said they're going to do a two-quarterback system, but they said that all off season, and we didn't see it at
Yep.
all versus Miami. So I'm not expecting it at all. We're going to probably have similar situation where we get down and then he's like, oh, we can't pull Graham out. We're down. It's comeback situation. Yada,
Yeah,
yada, yada.
it is Samford, but DJ Lagway goes 18 for 25 for 456 yards and 3 touchdowns, including one incredible bomb that I saw that was a really nice throw. You'd
Yeah.
like to see more of that as a Gator fan, I'm sure, because you're sitting here with a coach that's essentially fired already, but just hasn't had the writing on the wall yet. A quarterback that's not going to be on your team next year, and you're just sitting here waiting for your future to start. But your coach that's not going to be here next year, 99% most likely, is preventing that. And I understand the frustrations with that. So other than
Yeah.
that, go ahead. Go ahead, actually.
Well, it's just, DJ opens up that running avenue too that Graham doesn't really offer. Like, I'm not against Graham. I think he's a fine quarterback, but when you got DJ that talented and the way the transfer portal works these days, you want to give these players a chance to own this team before they decide to leave it. So,
Yeah, I think we kind of felt that same way when Mackenzie Milton was starting games at Florida State. Wouldn't you say so, Mike?
Yeah, Mackenzie Milton was a little different because he was pretty much on one leg,
Yeah,
so
he was broken.
a little different, but yeah, same feeling.
Yeah, well, Florida with a commanding 45-7 victory over the Samford Bulldogs. They host Texas A&M this Saturday at 3:30. Do the Gators have a chance, Skyler?
um, sure. I mean, because Texas A&M kept it close with Notre Dame, and Notre Dame lost to NIU, so that kind of makes it seem like Texas A&M might not be at such a high level that game maybe had set. I didn't see what
Uh,
happened week 2. I didn't see who they played, but
well,
uh,
Weigman did not look good against Notre Dame at all. He rebounded, of course, against they played McNeese, so that throwaway game they won 52-10. But yeah, Weigman is their quarterback. He's a young guy, but you'd think he's gonna be the guy that you have to really keep your eye on. But he's got 2 TDs and 2 interceptions through 2 games. Not the greatest
yeah,
start to the season for the sophomore.
yeah. You just think that with Texas A&M, it's a first year head coach. Billy, this is third year. That's where you should see a difference in programs. That's where the Miami game, Mario was in his third year coming into that game. And so we expected the programs to be in similar positions, but one really outclassed the other. And now we're gonna have a third-year coach versus a first-year coach, and it's gonna be really embarrassing if he can't handle a first-year coach.
At home too.
So
I mean, you look at it being at a home game. This is a game where Florida needs to use the 12th man or whatever you want to call them to their advantage and try and win this game. So we'll look forward to that game again on ABC this Saturday at 3:30.
yeah,
So no more college football. I'm sorry. We have to get into this Jacksonville Jaguars. Jags are gonna jag. I already had the name of the episode. I wrote it on a sticky note. Man, I don't know where I put it, but I'm titling this episode "Fumbled the Ball."
By the way, so I took off my headphones because I don't want to hear it because I like actually seeing the episode names when it comes up across my phone. So I don't want to hear it. So I'll wait till tomorrow when you post it.
Okay. All right. Well, I thought it was a creative one, Skyler. You know, it was pretty good.
yeah.
Huh? Yeah. All
Well,
right.
no, that really that point of the game really changed things. So
Okay, so I think I know where it's gonna tie to. So let's talk about it.
Well, yeah. Let's talk about it. That
those
game
speeding
was
charges.
that game was the 2023 season in a nutshell. We started off really strong. We looked good on both sides of the ball. I thought there was momentum building, and then everything fell apart in the second half. We reverted to the bad coaching that plagued us at the end of last season, where we forgot how to call a passing play and went for it inside our own 30-yard line on a fourth down where we didn't need to when we were winning the ball game. So it was frustrating. Sitting on the couch, I thought we were set to win that game, and then there was one play that kind of turned the tide. I have since, in my notes that I took, I think in my notes I literally just said fuck ETN. But it's not all his fault. There was a lot of other things that happened, but that was the turn of the tide. So Mike, go ahead. You're looking ready to say something.
All right, there's a few things. ETN is the one. There's two reasons I think why we lost this game yesterday or Sunday. ETN is reason A, B, and C. If we're being real, he should have never. Great. Okay, that ball was punched out so perfectly. I don't know if any other running back would have hung on to that ball.
If you use two hands,
it was a hard. He has, if he, yeah, two hands will do it. But again, whatever. That's another story for another day. But
he had the first.
wait, did we lose? Did you guys lose me?
Mike is frozen a little bit. Hang on, Mike.
I can hear the audio, but
Yeah, I can hear you, but you look. All right.
Okay, whatever. Anyway,
all right, you're back.
okay. Anyway, ETN is I think a very big reason why we lost, but also I am concerned. I was concerned with the play calling. You mentioned the fourth down inside our own 30. Like, why are we doing that? We're up. Punt the ball, change the momentum. Like, you failing on that fourth down, momentum already shifted to the Dolphins at that point. It was 17-14. Punt the ball away, let them go 60, 70, 80 yards, but not and see if they can get up get up 4 points or tie it up by driving down the field, not giving them a short field to I just that blew my mind. I don't know how the right word for it.
Well, I mean, we got bailed out because we gave them the short field, and the guy pushed the field goal like worse than I think I've ever seen. I guess technically he pulled the field goal left. That was a terrible kick, and I thought
we really did get bailed out, but it should have never been in that position because momentum already shifted to that point. Like that's what frustrates me the most. Like the fourth down call too. If you're gonna go for it, do something better than a pitch to the left or right. Go up the middle. Like, what is the point of having
1 yard, 2 yards?
It was fourth and one.
Fourth and one. Oh, what did we talk about last year? What was the play that we said we should call with our
QB sneak
6 quarterback? Oh yeah. The giant quarterback we have, QB sneak. Yeah.
Yeah, QB sneak is I just do it. It just made no sense to me. Some of the play calling also after that moment of the fumble was strange to me. I felt like they went very conservative, and I don't know why. They took the ball out of Trevor's hands, and granted, Trevor didn't have a great day passing, but he also wasn't terrible. Yes, he had 12 completions or whatever, but he only threw 21 times. So 12 of 21 for 165. And if you look across the league, all the quarterbacks had an average day at best. No one really passed the ball enough in the NFL. So I don't know if there was a concern with Trevor or there's an issue with Doug or Press or whoever it may be. But I do believe ETN deserves a large part of the blame. I do believe the defense. Also, one thing I'm going to mention real quick and let Skylar talk. What the fuck is up with the defense struggling against the screen pass? It is an issue I swear I can remember as a child. The Jacksonville Jaguars organization as a whole, no matter defensive coordinator, whether it's Mike Caldwell, you got Gus Bradley assisting with the defense, Todd Wash, um, Jack Del Rio. Now we're talking about Ryan Nielsen. No one can stop a fucking screen pass. Are we serious? That was literally the main impact against the defense, minus the 80-yard bomb to Tyreek. What are we doing here? We cannot. It's literally a repeat, rinse, repeat, recycle. Same shit. Defense allowing at least 50 yards on screen passes. I'm over it. So go ahead, Skyler.
Well, overall, I felt defense did okay, minus those chunk plays. They had that A-chain play for 39 yards on the first drive, and then they had the Waddle play for 60 yards, and then they had the Hill bomb. But I think, if it's any other team we're facing, I don't think they come back that way because the fumble and then that quick 80-yard touchdown. I don't think there's another team in the league that can score an 80-yard touchdown right away. Maybe the 49ers with McCaffrey or something. But yeah, I don't see anyone else on our schedule doing that. So overall, they played well, but yeah, if ETN goes in for that touchdown instead of fumbles, we're up 24, and then Dolphins
14-point swing is what happens. Yeah.
So it was quick. It reminded me a lot of the first game of the season, 2022, when we played the Commanders. And we were up the whole time for the most part, and then they connected on with Jahan Dotson or whoever for a long play, and it just kind of changed the momentum of that game. And we ended up losing to Carson Wentz because of a couple bombs, and so it's a little disappointing. But yeah, but we got looks like we're gonna get Jameis Winston coming down here.
Yeah,
I don't know. Is that official or not? That's what I've been seeing, but
no, it's not official yet. But before we get into the next opponent, I will say to Mike's point, the last 3 drives there was 1 pass play, 7 rushes, and 2 sacks. Not gonna
You're talking
do
about when the Jaguars had the ball, right?
Yeah. The last 3 drives
okay.
for the Jags was 1 pass play, which was an incompletion on the 3rd and 5 to Christian Kirk. And then you have 7 rushes and then 2 sacks. And that was not good. To another point, you talked about the defense. Yes, the defense. I'll say that as a positive. Yes, the screen passes were terrible, but I like the fact that Nielsen is big on subbing guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Kevin Harlan had a field day with that. He loved talking about where Savage was on the field, and I laughed every time. He's like, "Oh, he's in the nickel now. Oh, he's lined up at safety. Oh, he's a corner." So I like that aspect. Fresh guys. I think the sacks we had, Eric Armstead getting a sack was an awesome moment to see. The guy that we didn't even know if he's going to play because he's always injured. That was some positive stuff. But Mike, you want to add something to that?
I loved the first half. I thought the defense looked great.
Mm-hmm.
Like the play calling. Okay, the first quarter they drove down the field a little bit. It's okay. That's going to happen. Whatever. But I felt like they rebounded quite nicely. I did love the rotations that Nielsen was doing with the defense. And I will say, let me pull up the stats on that. Demetrius Harvey tweeted out that Josh Hines Allen played 82% of the defensive snaps. Trayvon Walker played 73%. Aluakon played 85. Aluakon played 800% of the snaps last year. Like he played every snap last year. So I think having your stars take some time off is very crucial. It does allow for them to feel 100% later in game, especially Sunday when it was hot as hell in Miami.
Yeah, did you
And
guys
also,
watch it on TV? Did you guys hear the broadcast when they were talking about the advantage for Miami because of how hot it was, and just like, oh, it doesn't seem like the people
yeah.
in North Florida are. It's fucking hot in
Yeah,
Jacksonville too. Shut up.
Oh,
yeah. I
it's
think
hotter here. There was I don't know if you're gonna mention this, Skyler, but I want to pull up the where is it? I have a group chat. Someone said, Logan Ryan said, I don't know if the Jags can handle how hot it is in Miami. And Pete Prisco responded back, I live in Jacksonville. I used to live in Jacksonville. It's literally hotter than Miami with no breeze. So
Mhm.
yeah, we're used to the heat. But I thought
Yeah,
it was clutch because the rotation of the D linemen really does help, especially when it came stopping the run. Um, but the first half was better than the second half, I will say. So
Certainly.
I don't know what it really impacted them in the second half. Maybe it was just the momentum shift to Miami, but I thought Ryan Nielsen did a good job in that game. I'm very excited to see how he does going forward, especially against a below average quarterback this upcoming weekend against Deshaun Watson and potentially Jameis Winston, given off-field circumstances with Deshaun. But yeah, I'm excited about the defense. Still questioning the offense, but at this point, I've been questioning it since middle of last season. So I don't know.
just to add to that heat thing, Miami. I think the only thing that really is a factor is the way the stadium is built. They have the sun shining directly on the opposing team, where the home
Mhm.
team sits in the shade the whole game. And I mean, it's little, but it over time when you got that sun just baking on you and you're padded up the whole time, it does put it does have some effect on you, especially when you haven't played a full game in over a year,
Sure.
like in over as preseason games they don't play the starters the whole game. So
I,
um,
I like that. Yeah, that's a good call. I forgot about that aspect of the stadium. Uncle
Before,
Uncle
go ahead, Keith.
I was gonna say Uncle Chaps called it a culture loss. Heads were down all over the field after the ETN fumble. Do we put blame on Doug for that? Do we put it on the leaders of the offense and the defense? Everyone? I even wrote Jimmy Carter, and do we blame him? Like, who do we blame for everyone having their heads down after a fumble that really did turn the tide in this game?
I don't know.
I think. Oh, go ahead, Skyler.
Well, if you I don't really have an answer for that because I just think everyone was just disappointed in the fact that they had a chance to like seal the deal and it the way momentum did swing. It's something it's hard to recover from, especially when you have play calls going against you. Like like but it was unnecessary for us to continue running. So I guess that goes into the culture because they know that the play calling is not going to benefit them after the fact. They did go conservative, so I
Yeah,
guess you could put that blame on Doug and Press, for that.
Mike.
I think it's the same thing that happened last year when the Jags were losing games. There was no one that really stepped up and said, like, enough of this shit. Like, move on. Like, let's go. And it's showing again after game one or during game one. And that's kind of a concern. I think it's an issue with the players and also coaching staff. Like, okay, yes, Travis fumbled. Move on. And Travis Etienne, I get your heads down, but stay positive. Like, it's okay. Like, and the players didn't seem, I think there could be a organizational issue with the team. I don't know. Like player, you look at these Super Bowl winning teams. You see McCaffrey, or I'm sorry, the Niners. You see the Chiefs. You see the Ravens. You don't see heads down. You see like, okay, pick up. It's okay. It'll happen. It's a moment of it's a momentary lapse. Yet there was no one showing the effort to be like, let's move on. Pick your head up. Like you've seen the video of like people like there's a basketball player who walks out with his head down. His teammate
Yeah,
picks his head up.
UCLA.
Like pick it up. Like it's okay. It happens. But they better respond this week against Cleveland. If they don't, this season's over before we get to week 3.
Yeah, I think the culture thing for me, to answer my own question, I think it falls on the players. You need to have someone over there to be like that basketball player, lift his head up. They didn't show ETN the entire time, but they did put the camera on him multiple times, and he is just sitting there moping and sad. You need Trevor or Evan Ingram or one of these vets to come over and be like, hey, you know what? It's all good. This is your first fumble since 2022. We're not going to let this, destroy our season week one. We're not the Giants, like who, good Lord, not getting into that, but we have expectations. We can still meet those expectations. We're 0-1. This is week one. That's actually one of the things I wrote down to calm myself down. This is only week one. How we respond, like you said, in the Cleveland game is going to be the tell-all for this season. I mean, we need to beat Cleveland. They do have a good defense, good defense, but their offense stinks. We should beat them by 20. With Njoku out too, that'll be really helpful.
Yeah, because if Deshaun, let's just transition into this game. So, what are you guys looking for? What are you guys looking for into this upcoming Sunday? First game in the bank. Like, what are we looking for in terms of team performance, player performance, coaching, fans? What are we looking for this upcoming Sunday against the Browns?
I mean, I'm hoping for like a replication of the first half from Miami. They pretty much they were up 17-0. If you could do that both halves, you win 34-0. So if they do that each half of football, then I think you've done a perfect game. Because sure, I think one thing maybe is get more rush. That's maybe my only thing is see Hines Allen get more involved in the backfield. We saw Walker get involved a lot. He got a lot of double teams, which was good. And like Keith mentioned, Art got sack. But to see more pressure, I think we should be able to, because the Dolphins have a quick throw offense, and Deshaun, like you mentioned, is average, below average. Or
not
might
good
even
under
be
pressure.
Yeah. So to get pressure, that'd be my only ask. Otherwise, like just replicate the first half of Miami.
My big
So, a
one
good thing,
is
real quick, Keith, let me just bounce off him real quick.
Mhm.
A good thing about Cleveland's O-line is they allowed 6 sacks to Dallas last week. So I think we can get after them. Now, the Jags themselves had 3 sacks on Sunday, so maybe they can get more. Trayvon had 2 last week, Sunday, and Armstead had 1. So I'm hoping that Trayvon and Josh and Armstead can get after Deshaun Watson. So hopefully that'll be a opportunity for a defense that looks hungry. Go ahead, Keith.
Yeah. My big thing is the offense. I want to see Brian Thomas Jr. get really involved. He had 4 receptions for 47 yards and a beautiful touchdown in this first game. Trevor Lawrence was 5 of 7 for 102 yards and a touchdown with passes over 10 plus air yards. If Trevor can get into a rhythm and he starts slinging it, kind of like I think of the Atlanta game in specific last year, he can just sling the ball. I think we can score a lot of points in this game. I won't say a ton. I'd say we could score over 30. How about that? So Brian Thomas Jr., Trevor slinging it.
All right, so you're saying over 30. So the over-under is 42.5. What are we thinking?
Give me Jags 31, Cleveland 17.
Okay, so you think the over cashes. Okay, cool. Good to know. Anyway, I do think the key to the game is going to be the trenches. We kind of got abused in the fourth quarter by their D-line, and their D-line is not great. From what I read online or what I've seen after the fact, like that was a concern for Miami going into the year. And in the fourth quarter, our O-line kind of struggled, and that's kind of what led to 2 sacks impacting Trevor Lawrence and halting our offensive movement. So for me, I do think the battle of the trenches is something I'm going to be paying attention to. I'm interested to see how Myles Garrett is going to play. Like, is he going to have a field day? Is he going to abuse Cam Robinson and or Anton Harrison? How are they going to play him? Are they going to put him in linebacker? What are they going to do? 'Cause he is a freak of nature, and I'm not looking forward to playing Myles Garrett personally.
I think Anton Harrison had his worst game as a pro in week one. He just did not look comfortable the entire game, first half and second half. But it's a new game, and hopefully we can contain him. I want to actually backtrack to the game real quick. I want you guys to give me your game ball of the week. Who are you giving the game ball to? It could be a Jaguar, it could be a non-Jaguar. I mean, I like it to be a Jaguar. I'm actually
Wait, are we?
go ahead.
Well, first, are we talking about like NFL as a whole or just the game in general?
You guys decide. What do you
Are we
want to
bringing back? Are we bringing back a segment from last year, or was it 2 years ago?
Yeah. Yeah, it's an old
Okay, let
segment.
me think about it. If you have one already, go ahead.
It was previously the entire NFL, but I'm picking from this game in specifics. So I'm giving my ball to Tank Bigsby. I was very impressed with how he ran the rock. He did not fumble the ball, which is something that we worried about all offseason, all last year. 73 yards. He led the team, 12 carries. He ran hard. He ran like the tank that he is. He's a big guy. He was able to make some guys miss and bounce off some other ones. So I'm giving my ball to Tank Bigsby.
Yeah, I think that's a good choice for giving your lone ball to Lance Armstrong. Um, no, but he did run well. I thought that one point he is going to break that Fred Taylor 96-yard run, but Gabe Davis couldn't catch up to the DB the same way Jimmy could.
Yeah.
But on my game ball, I'm going to give it to the rookie Brian Thomas Jr. I thought the way he got that touchdown so effortless and smooth was beautiful, and then to draw pass interference after beating Jalen Ramsey and then talking that talk was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that the Jaguars fans needed to see. So my game ball goes to him for sure. I think he's just going to continue to grow and improve, and I think at the end of the season, people are going to see that he may not be the best wide receiver from this draft class when it's all said and done career wise, but I think at the end of the year, I think he'll probably have the best numbers for the rookie receivers that were drafted, at least of the 4 that were drafted in the first round.
For sure. Mike?
So just a quick note on Brian Thomas. I absolutely think that he impressed me a lot. Yes, Sunday. I keep saying yesterday, but he impressed me a lot. I do think he could give it another 2-3 weeks. He could be our number 1 receiver, and we could probably be looking to move on from Christian Kirk after this year. But Christian Kirk pissed me off also, by the way.
Yeah.
Christian Kirk pissed me off with the drops. Like, dude,
Yeah.
come on. Anyway, since you guys took the only 2 Jaguars I was thinking of taking for game balls, I was gonna maybe give it to a coach on the Jags, but not really deserve. Ryan Nielsen maybe, but sure, but whatever. I'm going NFL. You guys can keep it Jaguars. I'll go NFL across the league. My game ball goes to Saquon Barkley. That guy went off for 4 touchdowns. Like, it's unreal.
Yeah.
Was it 4 or 3? Let me double check.
Definitely 3. It would. I think it was 3.
3. He was about to go 4, but they decided to kick, I think, field goal or whatever. But 3 touchdowns in your debut as an Eagle just made the Giants look stupid. And he
plays in New York.
yeah, I can't wait for that
gonna be
revenge
fun.
game. I can't wait for that revenge game. But yeah, Saquon Barkley, 3 touchdowns, and he had 109 yards. I want to see real quick before I go any further. Oh, the Giants only scored 6 points, so they desperately needed him.
Yeah, the Giants are a part of that cellar dwellers like Carolina, and there's another team. Sorry, I'm getting distracted right now. Somebody else, but yeah, no, they're at the bottom of the barrel. So good call with Saquon. Let me write that down so I can put that.
Did either one of y'all see that Hard Knocks with the Giants from the training camp or whatever, or not the training camp, but like the draft, whatever? Oh man, it was a pretty good watch, but it's just brutal because the Giants owner comes in to the GM's office. He's like, we've never had a player this loved like Saquon.
I did see that. Yeah.
I know what you're referring to.
It's just,
yeah.
But yeah, I saw that whole series, and it's just that obviously centered around Saquon and then eventually Neighbors. But what a horrible decision.
It is what it is. But that's not our team. But I just want to give a shout out to Saquon. I also want to give a secondary game ball to Jordan Mason. Balled out last night in replacement of Christian McCaffrey and helped the Niners get a win. So I'm a fan of the running backs this week, I guess. So
yeah, no.
Our running back can't hang on to the ball.
But our other one got my game ball of the week, so we're 1 for 2.
Whatever.
We'll see if he holds on to it.
Someone literally said in one of my chats, they said Travis and Tank switch jerseys. So.
Yeah, it's a tough look. It's a tough look. But again, everyone remember it is week 1. We have many more weeks to go. So.
I got something before we wrap up. Since we have a few minutes left. Since it's week 1 and everyone always overreacts week 1, let's get an overreaction from the NFL.
I got one.
From anyone. Go ahead, Keith, while I think of something.
The Bengals will not make the playoffs. They might not even break 500. That's my overreaction. They looked terrible against New England. The offense did not flow. When Joe Burrow does not have a number 1 receiver, the guy cannot throw the ball. Their kicking game isn't very good. The defense is okay. Yeah, that's my overreaction. I'm going to write these down too. So yeah, Bengals do not make playoffs, do not win 50% of their games.
About my overreaction, I knew after the Jaguars game, in my mind I was thinking Super Bowl, so I had an initial overreaction. But after all the games, my overreaction is going to be that Buffalo will be a bad team. Similar to how, like he said, I'm not sure, like they'll have a similar season to Cincinnati, under 500 potentially, 3rd place finish in their division. That's my overreaction. Even though they came back and won, Arizona started hot, and Josh Allen had to do everything he needed to on the ground and stuff. He threw it in the air, but like Mike mentioned earlier in the episode, pretty pedestrian numbers throughout the league from quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So ultimately scoring a couple touchdowns on the ground.
So just make sure you said
Stephon Diggs.
Just to make sure, Skyler, you said Bills will not make the playoffs?
Yeah, third place in their division, under 500 potentially. Similar statement to what Keith made about the Bengals, but plug Buffalo in for me.
Okay.
All right, for me it's simple. Chiefs are three-peating.
Ooh.
I don't know if that's an overreaction.
They just look like the best team in the NFL to me. They don't look like they have many flaws.
Yeah. But is that an overreaction? That's just
kind
a
of
overreaction.
There's a whole ESPN article about how they will, so I don't know.
I don't.
Was it published today or was it published before?
I think it was yesterday. I could be wrong.
I think it would be a bigger reaction to say something like,
"Okay, I got it. Okay,
I'll Super Bowl.
I'll change it. Let me look at the schedule.
Do you think Kelsey and Swift break up before the season?
I got it. Panthers will go winless.
Oh, all right.
I'll still keep the other one, but I'll add that too.
Panthers will go winless. I don't see them winning a game. They are so bad.
They're gonna beat some crap like division team. They're gonna beat someone.
Their crap division team is the team they just lost by 37 points. The Saints.
You got New York Giants and Carolina Panthers in Germany as reparations.
That game is gonna be so bad.
It's payback to Germany, So.
I saw that. And that's hilarious.
That was fun. All right, I'm gonna wrap things up with our nerdy nuts ad read. We've got new flavors right now, ready for you to enjoy. Tornado, and that's DOUGH, so like cookie dough, cupcake, peanut butter, strawberry pretzel, cookie batter cheesecake. Oh my goodness, sugar cookie, and it looks like the Public sugar cookies, which are just absolutely amazing. Smumpkin peanut butter, which is s'mores and pumpkin. Harvest Festival, our almond butter. Cosmo cupcake, and drumstick peanut butter. And yes, that is the drumstick, like the ice cream treat. So those are all the newest releases from Nerdy Nuts. Go ahead and get yours today. They are 10% off with our code DIMES10. Use that at checkout and let us know that you did, and we might send you something. So we love Nerdy Nuts, and we are thankful to have them as a sponsor. Any final notes, guys, before we sign out?
Question. Quick prediction. Do the Jags win on Sunday?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think they'll win 28-17. 10-10.
I think they win. I actually think this is a must win. They lose, we are in some deep shit.
What's
I'll
your
say
score
that.
prediction, Mike?
24-7.
24-7. Maybe I'll get those back on social media again. And everyone else can put in their predictions. And if they get it right, we might also give them something. So
We'll see.
I think that's it for us today. We appreciate you all tuning in to another episode of Dimes on Duval presented by Nerdy Nuts. He's Skyler Chase. He's Mike Yaji. I am Keith Manzi. Signing off from another wonderful episode. You guys take it easy, be safe, and go Jags.
Nice.